What's up, everyone? Jason Gilbo here with Nick Tasso, taking a look at some stacking options for tonight's slate. It's Friday. You got a new haircut. You're feeling ready to go.
You shaved last week, so I mean, I think I had to do something too. You were making me look ugly, so
I had a wedding to go
I don't
to,
know
so I
how.
mean, it made sense.
Alrighty, well, my hair was curling, just for the record, and when it curls, it bothers me, and then I end up playing with it all day and become absolutely unproductive. Not sure how different that is from today, but we can move on, right? We're talking about stacking today.
Taking a look at stacking. We'll take a look at cores real quick. Obviously, I think the Dodgers are the way to go with that stack just because Chatwood struggles at home. Over a 5 ERA there. He's a fine pitcher on the road, but at home, this is a guy you can fairly target with confidence. So kind of get that one out of the way quickly.
Absolutely. I think we've seen it's been weird at cores this year, but it seems like one team will actually go off and the other team won't do anything. And it seems like that's been pretty consistent most nights.
Yeah, it has. I mean, we saw it last night with the Rockies going off and not much from the Dodgers side really until the end. And it was all the back half guys for the most part anyway.
Yeah, and even like the Cubs series the other day too. The same thing happened. One day the Cubs would go off and then Rockies would do nothing. Next day Rockies would go off, Cubs would do nothing. So it's very interesting what's going on in Colorado right now.
But looking outside of cores, I know you're taking a look at Washington.
Yeah, absolutely. They're my top stack of the day. They've just been so good lately. They're obviously leading the league in runs scored. They have Ryan Zimmerman, who's hitting close to 400 still. Murphy's been hitting well. 409 WOBA against righties. Harper's obviously been a beast. I think yesterday with the postponement, I think they're all going to be rested up pretty good going up against a guy named Nick. How do you even say it? Pavetta?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I obviously don't like stacking against guys named Nick for obvious reasons. We have a brotherhood, but you know what? I think it's gonna be a bad day for him. He faced Washington last time, gave up 3 home runs, which we all know in DFS, home runs can really set you apart in your output every night. So differentiate your lineup to get a lot of guys in, and I like the Nats.
Yep, I'm definitely with you there. Hard to argue against the top offense, especially with them playing so well and against a rookie pitcher. I'm taking a look at Oakland here, going into Texas, wind blowing out, hot ballpark. Um, Last night, you had two ground ball pitchers that didn't exactly pan out. You had Clayton Richard and Martin Perez throw decently. Tonight, I think that goes a little bit differently. Casher, not as much of a ground ball pitcher. Look at this Oakland team. I mean, sixth highest ISO against right-handed pitching this season, third highest hard contact rate. Um, you look at Casher. I mean, fifth over 450 against both sides of the plate this year, 16% walk rate. Has given up some home runs. Yonder Alonso's found the big power source. I mean, I think in the past we looked at Oakland and they just kind of lacked in the power department. But with Chris Davis and with Alonso getting hit for power now, I mean, it's definitely a high upside stack. And I like the value because there are some good pitchers to play, and this one can certainly pair up with them.
Yeah, I don't mind the stack. It's not obviously my favorite, but I mean, there's definitely some value here. They're priced nicely, and the thing about Oakland is they just have a stigma that they're not a good ball club offensive wise. So you'll probably see ownership rate a little bit lower, 5% and less, hopefully. And if you get a couple home runs, like you said, Alonso and Davis is a beast. I mean, that could definitely set you apart.
Brewers one you were looking at. I mean, Matt Harvey, not a guy you can just really shy away from right now.
Yeah, I mean, Matt Harvey obviously hasn't been good. Off the field troubles as well. And looking at this Milwaukee team, I know they had a down day yesterday, but going up against Matt Harvey, I think they're going to really rebound. Even if Braun doesn't play, I know he's still day to day, so keep an eye on that. But clearly, Thames is back on track, now hitting 2 home runs over his past 4 games. Shaw's still on a 4-game hit streak, and he can hit a home run as well. And it's Matt Harvey. I think he's on his on thin ice with the Mets right now, and things are not looking good for him, and his mind clearly isn't there. So I think he's going to get hit pretty hard. And just take a look at the lineup for how it's constructed, because I think you might see an interesting lineup going out today if Braun is not in.
Yep. No, I like the Brewers here in that ballpark. As you said, I mean, Matt Harvey on and off the field, just guy you can just pick on regardless of what he's doing. Um, yeah, I mean, give up a ton of hard contact in that ballpark. Brewers' power against right-handed pitching has been solid this year. I'm definitely with you there. Another NL Central stack I do like is the Cardinals. I'm not quite sure the Cubs and what happened, but Eddie Butler starting for them today, former Colorado pitcher, but this guy has struggled away from cores in his career, allowing a 377 WOBA over a 5 ERA. Didn't really matter where he went. He's allowed a 434 WOBA to lefties in his career, 378 WOBA to right-handers, over a 1.50 runs per nine. I like the Cardinals. I mean, if Dexter Fowler's not in the lineup, I mean, you'll see Colton Wong lead off again, who's been fairly solid. Cardinals have been somewhat sneaky. I mean, now they have the eighth highest WOBA against right-handed pitching this season, 13th in ISO. I think the ownership's going to be down. I mean, now that a lot of people are really digging into Carpenter at first base, Fowler, Wong, Fowler's been struggling a little bit this year, but overall, I mean, Grichuk, Jerko, guys that I don't mind here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm definitely on board with the Matt Carpenter train. I know a couple weeks ago we talked about how difficult it is to play him just because he doesn't have that huge power, but he's just been such a consistent ball player now at the on the offensive side that you kind of have to go with him. Um, so I like him. Again, I don't like that he's at first base, but you know what? At the end of the day, you just got to go with him. And I know you haven't touched on this guy, but I really like Yadier Molina batting fifth. I mean, he's priced pretty nice almost every game, and he just is like Carpenter is a consistent hitter. So I definitely like him here as well.
Yeah, I don't mind tossing him in on DK where you can add that fifth man in.
Yep.
So, last stack for you and I, we differ a little bit here with what you're going to be bringing to the table.
Yeah, you probably won't hear this from me for the rest of the year. What do you think? Do you think so?
We'll see. We'll see. It's
Yeah,
still a
I'm
long
pretty crazy.
season.
So, yeah, we're still in May. So, but I am going with the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. I'm not super thrilled, but to be honest with you, Jordan Zimmerman has been atrocious this year. I really don't know what the heck is going on with him anymore, and I don't think he's ever going to figure it out. Um, he had those good years in Washington, and then coming to the American League, he's definitely fallen on his face. This year, he hasn't done anything productive. And they got Trout back, which is good. The Angels, they're not a great offense, to be honest with you, but I think they could make some things happen. They're priced pretty low, so throw them in. You'll get, I think they're like Oakland where they have a stigma, and they're going to be very low owned. If you actually do look at the numbers, I always think they're like dead last, but you know what? They're like middle of the pack for most of their numbers. So I think against a bad pitcher, something could happen here.
I don't mind stacking Angels like away from home. It's when they're at home that I have the biggest issue with. But I mean, Zimmerman, he's had two starts where he's allowed three home runs. So I mean, I can see the power potential for some of these guys. It's a tough park to find power. And Zimmerman, I just don't know if he's going to go out and give you like those 7 or 8 earned run starts. Like I think his max is just going to be around 4 or 5. So I don't know if the complete stack is going to fall off. I just think on a full slate, like there's going to be better options for me to stack.
All right, well, let's see what happens tonight. And you people can hate on me if I'm wrong. I sometimes am, so, but we will see. What was your
Uh,
last guy?
Next
Last
one, they got
team?
Arizona here. Chase Field is a plus for hitters, third highest WOBA at home. Hard contact rate shoots way up near 39%. Tyler Glass now, like Garrett Cole last night, struggles to hold runners on. He's already 19 stolen bases in his career. 415 WOBA to lefties, 351 WOBA to right-handers. I like the Diamondbacks in this ballpark. I think once again, I mean, Chase Field is an easy pivot away from cores if needed.
Oh, absolutely. We've seen in years past where Chase Field, when they go up against cores, have even outproduced cores players, and they've been more consistent, I feel, on certain nights. I think personally, cores, you get those huge explosive nights, but with Chase Field, I think you have 2 weak pitchers or 1 weak pitcher, and you get pretty consistent value. So I definitely like Arizona here. We saw they were okay last night going up against Cole. So I definitely think Glass now is a little bit worse, and I think you could get a lot of production here.
Yeah, definitely expecting much better numbers than last night. So let's wrap things up here. You can head over to fantasycafe.com for all great tools and content.